Hey everybody, this is Chris with OverclockersClub. I've got a new camera here. This is the Reolink E1 Pro. It's a dual band Wi-Fi camera with pan and tilt. So let's get it out of the box and see what this looks like. Alright, so let's get it out of the box. On top there is a quick start guide. Little hardware box with all the anchors, power adapter, and then we have the camera, and that's not much bigger than a baseball. Most of the plug-and-play cameras today are very much plug-and-play. There's not a whole lot to do, but you should still go through the quick start guide and familiarize yourself with the features and functions. It's always a good idea. Now looking at the details a little more closely, we've got a mounting template, which is for this little base here. It has the right pitch for the holes, but this you would mount either to a ceiling or you can mount it on a table. And if you look at the bottom, it's sort of keyed there so that you rotate it and it locks onto that little base. Got a couple of anchoring screws there if you're going to mount this onto a masonry type of application, and then a small 5-volt adapter with plenty of cord there. I went ahead and measured it, and there is almost right at exactly 10 feet of power cable there, so that's how much distance you've got. And looking at the front of the camera, there is a little clear, actually a blue plastic cover that you want to peel off very carefully. That protects the lens. I have several Reolink cameras, so I'm familiar with the setup process. But after you get the phone app installed, whether you have Android or iPhone, the next thing you do is you'll power the unit up. So I already have this plugged into the wall. We'll get the adapter plugged in, and within the app there's a way to add a new camera. It prompts you to scan this little QR code, and once you do that, it pretty much sets itself up after that. So really in about 30 seconds this thing is all up and running. After you scan the QR code in, the camera really sets itself up. Select your Wi-Fi network, put your password in, and after the camera is in your app showing up as available, there's a configuration setting you go into to give the camera a name, and that's about it. I was able to tilt it up, and you can see here there is the slot for the SD card, and on the right there that's actually a reset button, so you hold that in if you need to reset the camera. So the maximum resolution, since it's a 4 megapixel camera, is 2560 by 1440, and I'm using my Android phone here to control it. But if I use the pan and tilt, I can raise it up there, and you can see right here is the slot for the SD card. And you want to make sure it's completely engaged. You don't want any of the cards sticking out, since when this rotates down you don't want it to hit on the edge there. So what's kind of interesting here, you can set up different points, and it calls it marks. So what you can do is you move the camera to a position wherever you want that to be. Let's just say that's the exact position you want it to be looking at, and you can hit the mark and then give it a name. I've already hit 3 positions here, and then when you want to go back to that position, you just hit the button there and it goes back to that predefined location. So that one happens to be center, and I can go over here and hit the left, and the camera will pan all the way over to the left, and I can hit the right and the camera automatically pans over to the right. And if I want center again, I just hit the center button. Oops, I think I missed it. There we go, and the camera will go back to that predefined location. That includes the angle that it rotates plus the elevation. So both of those positions are saved each time you save a mark. And then when you want to delete one or change it, of course you'd want to delete it first, you hit the little trash can there, and you can delete these marks. Now, you also have this button here that says auto, and when you hit it like that, it just scans back and forth. Scans all the way to the right and then stops and scans all the way to the left, and it just keeps doing that until you stop it. One of the things I've noticed, regardless of the brand of camera, when you have a small camera, even though you have the two-way talk capability, a lot of times the speakers are so small, and to keep the costs down, they're not probably the best quality. Talking back and forth through these sometimes is difficult. Now, if it's in a room where it's quiet, then it's not so bad. But if you're anywhere where there's a lot of noise, or especially outdoors, sometimes the ambient noise is so much that it's really hard to really talk back and forth through these. But I noticed with this camera, the speaker looks to be much larger, and I suspect it's going to be much better quality. So I'm going to leave the room and use my other camera here, or actually, it's not a camera, it's my cell phone. And I'm going to talk through this, so let's see what it sounds like. So this should give you an idea of the sound quality coming through this new speaker. And again, I think it's probably a better quality speaker and it's larger, so your sound coming through it is going to be much easier to hear. And if there's any ambient noise, you're going to have a better chance of hearing what's going on. Alright, so I turn the alarm on, and I'll walk past the camera here to set it off so you can hear the sound. Now I'll move out of the way so it'll shut off. And you can also create a custom alarm sound, so you can actually record yourself saying, hey, get out of here, or what are you doing? And it will play that, so I'll show you that. So you can record your own custom sounds. You've got 5 seconds of recording time, and you can say anything you want, or you can make a noise, your own noise, or record your own sound. So now when I walk by, hey, you need to leave now. Get out of here. Hey, you need to leave now. Get out of here. So I'll get out of range of the alarm. Hey, you need to leave now. Okay. So anyway, so that's an example of one type of recording you can do for your alarm. So you really do have a lot of options here when you get into the controls for the camera. You can turn whether you record audio or not, off or on with your recordings. You can turn the status LED off. You can turn your infrared lights off so your night vision doesn't show up. You won't see the red LEDs around there. You can change the alarm sound. You've got an email notification. You've got a push notice that shows up on your phone. Your record settings here, you can set up an actual schedule as to when it will be active and when it will record and when it won't. You've got other record settings here. You can set how long it records a clip, up to 30 seconds. That's the schedule, we already looked at that. Oh, you can go up to a minute. So I was wrong there. 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and a minute. And then go back to motion detection settings, so you can set up the motion detection zones. You can mask out certain areas, and then you've got sensitivity, so you can adjust how sensitive it is. You have custom settings for different times of the day. So you really have a complete range of settings that you can control for the camera. And there's some other stuff you can get into here with the display. You can rotate the screen, change the camera name, date, the watermark, the little Reolink watermark there. You can turn that on or off down here. You can look at the quality, make some changes there. Change the resolution, the frame rate when it's recording, things of that nature. You have quite a bit of control over this stuff. So in the interest of making sure I have all the details covered here, I'll just walk through the basics. So the setup is very easy and fast. It's truly a plug and play. You plug it in, and within a few minutes you're up and running. Just enter your Wi-Fi password and create a user password, and you're good to go. The resolution there, you got the 4 megapixel. Again, that's pretty unusual on a camera this size. 355 degrees of rotation, and then your tilt, which is up and down, is 50 degrees. You do have the dual band Wi-Fi, so most of these little cameras are 2.4 gigahertz, but this one actually has both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi available. Two-way audio, we kind of walked through that. The night vision, I'll get some video clips of the night vision and some daytime clips also. You get your motion alerts. You can either get your email alerts or your push notices on the phone. We heard the audio alarm, your remote live viewing anytime, which is kind of the purpose of having this camera. The other thing I do want to talk about here is the cloud storage. Now, it comes with a basic plan, which is free. You get 7 days of rolling video storage history. It covers one camera, and you have up to 1 gigabyte of cloud storage data space. If you need more than that, if you have more than one camera, or you feel like you need a wider range of time that's saved, you have a 30-day rolling history here. You have monthly plans here, so you got $349 a month. Looks like they marked that down temporarily, and they have a deal here, regularly $9.99, $6.99, and then the biggest one here is 100 gigabytes of cloud storage, up to 30 cameras, and 60 days of video history right now for $10.49. And of course, some people really like cloud storage and some people don't. I've always been fine with the SD cards for onboard storage, but that's really up to you. All right, so next I'll show some clips of daytime and nighttime footage. So the E1 Pro here from Reolink is a nice little camera. It's very small. It is an indoor camera. It's a 4 megapixel sensor on this camera too, which is pretty unusual on a camera this size. Most of these are 1080p, which is fine, but 4 megapixel, the resolution is amazing. You do have to supply your own SD card. It does have 2 channels of Wi-Fi, so you can get both 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. Again, very unusual for a small little camera like this. The two-way audio has greatly improved with a much larger speaker here. The sound quality is much better. So this comes in at Amazon for about $50, $55, somewhere in that range. A good value for a camera like this. I would give this the Overclockers Club Gold Award. So again, a great little camera from Reolink. This is Chris with Overclockers Club. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.